Have you ever asked yourself, what is a macro? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about macros and basically what they are, why people calculate them, why they're significant in any weight loss journey and or fitness journey, if it means putting on muscle or body recompositioning. Listen, sometimes people in the fitness industry take some of these terms and this knowledge a little bit for granted, and very often I get clients coming in and asking me on day one,
what is a macro?
If you're one of those people and or you're curious about why it is that people count and track macros, then just keep on watching. But before we do that, make sure you like and subscribe if you're interested in videos like this. It lets me know that you want me to do more. My channel is primarily nowadays fitness-based and fitness education specifically. So you can come here for any more tips, tricks about living a happier, healthier life. Yeah, so if that sounds good to you, then maybe consider clicking that subscribe button and ringing the bell if you would like notifications about new uploads. Have you done all that? Okay, let's get started. In the last few years, the topic of macros has become much more prevalent in the lexicon of diet and fitness, but you might be asking yourself in the beginning of your journey, what exactly is a macro? Well, macro is short for macronutrients. Those are basically how we frame and measure our carbohydrates, our proteins, and our fats in grams in relation to what our body goals are. So whatever you eat throughout the day or whatever's on the back of a nutrition label, those are the macros, the macronutrients for that specific food. Most people in the fitness industry believe that if you track your macros, that you will have a much more fine-tuned idea of what you are doing to manipulate your body composition from a scientific standpoint. Why would you track macros over just tracking calories? It kind of goes a little bit into what I just said. Depending on your goals, by fine-tuning your macronutrient ratios and counts, you can more specifically figure out what you're doing with your body. So you're taking your calories into account for sure. That's the number one mission. That is step number one, figuring out how many calories you think that you should be consuming. What factors do coaches or calculators take into consideration when calculating your macros? Well, there's your weight, your height, your sex, obviously, because men and women have completely different body makeups. Women inherently have to have more fat body mass on them than men do because of our. So there's that. There's your activity level. How many times a week are you going to the gym? How during your day job, are you sedentary? Are you a construction worker and you are shoveling all day long? That's gonna have a much higher activity level than somebody else. And also when you're working out, maybe your activity level is at a desk job all day long, but when you go to the gym, you go for an hour and you go as hard as you possibly can, or maybe you go for 2 hours and you're just walking on a treadmill. All of these things are going to determine your activity factor. Then there's the amount of your body composition. Do you have more lean body mass, like muscle and water, or do you have more fat mass? 140 pounds versus 140 pounds isn't always the same. So you can't just put in your weight. That's not going to be the most exact way. All of that and more determines your perfect calorie number. Then it's up to the calculator or your coach, depending on what your goals are, as to how all of those calories are going to get broken up into macros. If you're interested in a video that goes into the nitty-gritty math of how you calculate your macros, let me know down below. But this is really just for beginners about the understanding why it is, because 50% of any fitness goal, whether it's putting on more muscle or losing fat, the psychology of going through that process is very important. And I always find that if people understand why, they're more inclined to follow through with their goals of why am I even doing this? You can't just blindly do something. So this video is really here to explain that. So you start off figuring out your calories, and then you go into the ratios of those calories, whether you want to do a high carbohydrate, medium protein, low fat diet. If you want to do high fat, low carb, moderate protein, then you can decide kind of how you're going to split up those macros. Depending on the diet you're on, then these ratios of these numbers are going to change depending on what you want to do. There's a lot that goes into it, but there are plenty of great online calculators that are going to at least point you in the right direction. Some of my favorites are the If It Fits Your Macros calculator, or if you're doing a ketogenic lifestyle, the Keto Gains calculator or the Unruled Me calculator are also good. Certain macronutrients perform different functions in the body depending on what lifestyle and macronutrient ratio you're currently working with. These different macronutrients function differently in the body and will do different things. If you're on a high carbohydrate, low fat diet, then you really need the right amount of carbs to fuel your body, to fuel your workouts and get that glucose working for you. If you're on a high fat, low carb diet, then you really need to make sure that you're eating the appropriate amount of fat to sustain that ketogenic change if you're doing a ketogenic or low carb diet. And you want to make sure that your carbohydrates are at a certain macronutrient level so that everything's working the way that it should. Your body, I've said it so many times on here, for those of you who've been watching for a while, I'm sorry, but I will maintain that your body is like a hybrid car and it can run on either glucose or ketones, and you have to tell it what to do by what you put in your mouth. That's it. Some people, even on a ketogenic diet or on a high carb diet, the amount of proteins that you're going to be eating, if maybe you want to put on a lot of muscle and you're not so much concerned about making fat go away to reveal that just quite yet, but you're really wanting to build that muscle, then you're going to have a different set of goals in terms of your protein levels. How much are you working out to justify eating that more protein? This is the kind of stuff that dictates why people designate their macros. If you want to see if tracking your macros is right for you and you don't want to leave any room for error in any of these online calculators, because let's get real, none of them are perfect. Some are better than others, but a coach is really going to have all of the knowledge in incorporating your goals and what you're after that a calculator just won't be able to do. So for any of you who are interested in having a coach calculate your macros for you, I have just opened up that option on my website, Nutrition by Samantha. Head over there after watching this video if you're interested in having a certified nutrition coach calculate your macros just for you. So sure, you can just track your calories, but if you really want to get really fine-tuned with what you're doing to manipulate your body, then that's when people track macros. A lot of people believe in a if it fits your macros lifestyle, which means you calculate all these numbers and you input it into your app. Like MyFitnessPal is the one that I use. I think it's great. It has a lot of great functions. If you're dieting with a friend, you can look at what they're eating, compare notes and diary entries and things, so you really feel like you have a bond with somebody. A lot of low carb people like Carb Manager. Basically, you just need to find the app that you identify with the best, that you feel like is the easiest for you to use or has the information that you really care about. Some are more detailed than others. Find one that you like using, because if you're not going to like using the app and you feel like it's difficult, then what's the point? By tracking these macros in an app and inputting all the foods that you eat, as long as you meet your desired target of your macros for each macro, that's basically tracking your macros and fulfilling a if it fits your macros lifestyle. Basically, the idea is you can eat whatever you want as long as you hit all of these numbers. Now, one of the flaws, in my opinion, from a generalized open floor plan idea of if it fits your macros is just the idea, and it's pretty much common sense, but it's the idea of quality macros versus junk. And yeah, this is kind of the appeal of the if it fits your macros lifestyle, is that I can eat Cheetos and that's fulfilling my carbohydrate, fat, and very low protein macronutrients, but is very generalizing. 25 grams of carbs from a bag of Cheetos going to behave in your body the same way that 25 grams of carbs of an apple and maybe some peanut butter would. Obviously, from a micronutrient standpoint, those are all the vitamins, minerals, amino acids, etc. that are in foods that really provide the nutritional value beyond just the macronutrient nutrition levels that you're getting from that food. So obviously the vitamin and mineral profile in an apple and peanut butter is going to be much better for you than a bag of Cheetos. But if you're just trying to lose weight and you don't care, and maybe your health isn't the utmost importance to you and it's really just about how you look and the aesthetics, then fine. Take the junkier choice and you'll probably get similar results aesthetically, but maybe not necessarily internally when you get all your blood stats back. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Let me know in the comments if you want me to elaborate more on this in a separate video. I always rather my clients specifically eat their nutrients from whole, nutrient-dense foods. But at the end of the day, a lot of people in the If It Fits Your Macros camp say that the whole premise of it is I can fill those macros up however I want. So it's really up to you. There's not a wrong or a right way, but that, to me, in my professional opinion, are the facts. At the end of the day, you have to calculate your macros. If you're throwing all of your energy into whatever fitness goal you have, whether it's to lose weight, gain muscle, maybe both, if you're gonna put in all the effort, it always just makes absolute logical sense, and it's always my first recommendation on any journey to start doing is tracking your macros. You will know for sure where you went wrong or right when it comes to the foods that you eat, and this is the only way to really know. Otherwise, you're just guessing and hoping for the best. And if you're putting 2, 3, 4, 6 months into a goal, why would you want to do it with a blindfold on? I hope that answers all of your questions about what macros are and why people track them and how you can track them and maybe come up with some numbers for yourself easily, free, and online. Again, I am available to customize your macros for you and also for 8 and 12 week coaching if you have a very specific goal that you would like to achieve when it comes to your fitness journey. If you are coming from my channel, you can save money off all of my programs and offers if you use code YouTube on my website. That'll get you some money off if you're considering really taking it to the next level. Thank you so much. Again, like this video, comment down below if you have any additional questions about this and or if you want that how to calculate exactly video and any other topics that you want me to address. I'm so happy to be here and just educate and serve. I really feel called to do this, helping you guys learn just a little bit more about how to make your life happier, healthier, and better because of it. It really just makes me so happy, you guys. So thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time here. Thanks so much. Bye.